it gets interesting.
Indeed.
Just coming up to 1 a.m. in Melbourne.
Yeah. And we might have another round of this.
Yeah. Still a full house there.
Two points away. 2 points from a break, 2 points from the match. Here comes the first serve. Yes. Not a bad return, though, from Carlos. He's in the rally.
Decent one.
Oh, but he's gone wide with that backhand, and it's going to be match point.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, again, you probably wouldn't expect it. I mean, they can happen.
And it's a match point.
We'll see, Sean. I still have my doubts, but the next few seconds, of course, could be pretty important. Dave is pretty sure he's going to go down the tee. Let's see. I think he's probably going to go down the tee as well. The only problem is that it's to the Novak, that is to the Alcaraz forehand.
Underarm serve. Okay, let's.
In the net, and he was going to go wide. Now it's second serve. This one, I don't think it really matters where it goes. Probably he'll go at the backhand, actually.
He goes body. Let's see if he goes safer.
Yeah, he could go body, actually, yeah. Down the tee, into the rally, backhand to backhand right now. Backhand from Novak, backhand from Carlos. Pretty good depth on that one, but good depth from Novak too. Novak is going to definitely pick up the pace because he doesn't want a long rally. Carlos on the run. He goes into the net, and Alcaraz is out. Djokovic is through in 4 sets. 4-6, 6-4, 6-3, 6-4. Novak Djokovic prevails and will play Alexander Zverev in the Australian Open semi-final. Andy Murray looking a little bit relieved, puffing out his cheeks.
63 minutes, that final set. The longest one of the match. And it probably was the most exciting one, wasn't it? But
indeed. What are you?
You have to say, I mean, an amazing victory, isn't it? Oh, he's given Andy a hug there.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Amazing victory for Djokovic. I mean...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's now got a 5-3 advantage in the head-to-head. You know, that who knows how many more years we're going to have Djokovic on tour. Of course, if he's making Grand Slam finals like he is today, then it might be a couple more years yet. But yeah, there were some pretty exhausting rallies there, but he still got over the line.
Yeah, and before sort of Alcaraz started coming back a bit, yeah, he was coming out on top of some of them, which was very impressive. And just, yeah, I think he was just more playing a more clutch game, but like just a smarter game. And I think for Alcaraz, it just waited until too late for him to sort of find his level again. But
yeah, I mean, there's a few things. I'm going to have a look at some of the stats right now from the match. I'm going to have Djokovic give his on-court interview as well in a second. Yeah, just having a quick look at some of the stats right now.
Yeah,
I mean, 33%. I don't know if that's the set or the match, but 33% of points won on the second serve from Carlos Alcaraz. I think it's a match stat, which is, yeah, that's not going to win you too many tennis matches, especially against Novak Djokovic. 40 unforced errors off the racket of Carlos, 27 from Novak. Yeah, again, that tells a little bit of a story. Just basically, again, the double faults, probably too many from Carlos as well. But to be honest with you, the main thing, as you said, I think in the big moments, you know, some of those very long rallies, except for the last couple of games, it was often Djokovic who was punching the air, and the spectacular moments, the ones that really should be coming off the racket and from the body of the younger tennis player, but they were not. It was Novak Djokovic. I mean, we began the match with a break of serve for Djokovic, but Alcaraz broke back immediately. They get to 4-all, and then from nowhere, Alcaraz gets the decisive break to make it 5-4 before serving it out. Similar patterns in the second set, some more breaks of serve, but ultimately still looks a bit of a stodgy encounter. Neither player is playing anywhere near their best. They get to 4-all in the second set. You're thinking this is still fine for Alcaraz. But Djokovic at 4-5 or 5-4 because he holds serve, ends up breaking. And that's really where the match changed. I think Djokovic won something like 5 out of 6 games from the end of that set. He is now going to speak to Jim Courier. Let's have a quick listen to what he's got to say.
Und er sagt, bei den Umständen, wie konntest du das noch gewinnen gegen Carlos? Daran wird man sich noch ganz lange erinnern.
One and a half. Of course, he had that injury as well at the end of the first set, Eddie. He had a medical timeout for. Things were looking good until that 4-all game, as I said, and then things changed. Things really did change. Just having a quick look at some of the match stats as well. 10 aces off the racket of Alcaraz and just 5 off the racket of Novak. Double faults, though, Carlos did 5 times compared to Novak's 3. But yeah, winning on the second serve, indeed it was just 33% of second serve points won from Carlos, and that's really going to be very difficult. I also highlight the fact I don't think he did enough on the second serve of Djokovic, maybe a little bit towards the end. He did really well with the extended rallies that finally did start to win those big points. But the unforced errors, the big moments, the returns of serve from Novak, by the way, for the first 4 sets or for the first 3 sets, were really, really good. Some good return winners that Alcaraz just wasn't producing. And yeah, Novak Djokovic proceeds.
Yeah. It wasn't a great performance mentally from Alcaraz. And, it's odd because, obviously he's had some amazing performances to be able to win slams, but then we've seen it quite a few times now where it's sort of he's had in the big matches, he's had these sort of mental dips, which, he just basically just looks nothing like the kind of player that, or at the level that he needs to be at. And we saw it against in the Roland Garros final. He looked really under pressure there, and it looked like he might lose against in that match, but eventually found his level again. But it wasn't going to be enough. Too little, too late here against Djokovic, having gone down a break fairly early in that 4th set. He did come back and he was playing really good, and we saw some excellent rallies that Alcaraz did come out on top, but but he just couldn't get that break back. And yeah, I think it was in the end, definitely well deserved. And there's Andy Murray giving saying congrats or commiserations to Carlos. Thanks for losing.
Yeah, Andy doing it as well the right way, sort of just a congratulate or a sort of a clap, if you like, and then quickly moving away to let Carlos reflect while he's on the exercise bike. There's some interesting things here. This is quite funny. There's a thing about Scottish coaches now I see on the internet, and I'm going to obviously share this on the screen. I think that's
that's just an AI thing, is it? Or it must be, right?
I could well be. Yeah, I think it could well be. There might be a picture of the two of them.
I suppose it could be some other thing. I don't know.
They've met each other quite a few times. There's one famous press conference which Ferguson and Sean Connery gate crash of Andy Murray's in New York, where they're both a bit tipsy.
Oh, that was his first slam, right? Andy Murray, yeah.
Could have been Murray's first slam, yeah. First.
It was his first slam that he won was in the US.
His first slam win, yeah. Although that does look AI. I'm just looking at Andy's head there.
Yeah, that looks like AI.
Yeah, I know.
That's mad.
Novak's best performance is winning Olympic gold. I think that's pretty clear. I think his tournament has been getting better and better. He's going to be playing Alexander Zverev next. I will be previewing that match with Amy Lundy probably in about an hour. We're going to record that. Grand Slams and Novak Djokovic, it's a thing. Did we know? I think we did, but now we know more than ever. Novak Djokovic has reached a 50th, I repeat, 50th Grand Slam singles semi-final, become the first male in the Open era to achieve the feat, and the second male or female after Chrissy Evert did 52. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of top professionals that were on the tour for 15 years that don't even play 50 Grand Slams. I wonder how many Grand Slams, for example, you know, I don't know how many Grand Slams Monfils has played, probably over 50, but
yeah, he's played a lot actually. I think there's a stat, yeah, he's played like a lot of Grand Slam main draws.
Yeah, I wonder how many Andy Murray played.
Not too many, because he had those periods out injured, right, where he couldn't play for a while, and
yeah.
I mean, obviously he's been in a lot, but not as much as these guys, I think. So
this interview, by the way, with Jim Courier, maybe they're sort of going, you know what, we didn't do an interview the other day, we're going to do 2 in 1 today. Recovery. And of course, he's got 3 days to do so.
Yeah, he's lucky, and that's definitely going to benefit him. And I think he can beat Zverev now. I think he's got a great opportunity to make the final, and then obviously you make the final, you never know what's going to happen. But I mean, the match with Zverev against Tommy Paul, he got away with it. I mean, he could easily have lost the first 2 sets. I mean, and
he can, yeah. I think it's a 50-50. I think it's a 50-50. Yeah. It depends on. I think we know what Novak Djokovic is going to turn up. You know, the guy from today, the one who just says, no, I'm not going to lose. The one who's going to be clutch on big points. The one who's going to return well, who's also going to serve pretty well. We know that Novak Djokovic, he's going to basically beat just about anyone on the planet. You're going to have to play at or close to your best to beat me. What I will say is the difference is today compared to a year or 2 ago is that the absolute best of Alcaraz, Sinner, and I think even Zverev does it. But Zverev doesn't produce his absolute best on the biggest occasions, and rarely has done. So, well, we'll see. We'll see.
He did beat, I think one of his best performances was obviously winning the Olympic gold medal, right?
Against Djokovic, yeah.
True. But it's in the best of 5, the big events that, the slams basically, that he hasn't really, he's underperformed, right? So
indeed. Well, Eddie, big thanks for joining us for the latter stages of that match. Certainly some exciting latter stages. 3 break points came and went for Carlos, but Novak Djokovic has prevailed in 4 sets. He will now play Alexander Zverev in the semi-final. And Eddie, big thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And to everybody else, you know the drill.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.